Therefore, it works. The universe works. If we let it work in peace, if we don't get in the way, everything is easily solved. Everything is resolved. Now, you have to understand this. Understanding, this is the problem. Let's suppose, here at Casa Verde, 2, 3 lectures, there are people who came to 2, 3, or 4, so supposedly, how many lectures have you attended? 4. Have you understood yet? No. In the other space, 50 lectures, have you understood yet? No. Now, in the first lecture, how many questions? 0. In the second, third, fourth, fifth, 30th, 50th. 0. So, vampirism only has one meaning: it is evil, it is negative, it extracts, it does not give. If you gain dopamine, serotonin, endorphins, you have earned it, it was created. You only gain it through love. Have you ever seen someone give something out of hate, give something because they hate? That doesn't exist, it's a contradiction. There is something wrong in the Kingdom of Denmark, which is why things don't gain momentum, critical mass. One person learns and passes it on to another, who passes it on to another. This doesn't happen because they haven't managed to understand. Understanding this changes everything in your life. Those around you will notice, you may not even say it, but they will notice. How come you are like this? Cellular rejuvenation alone would get people's attention, you can be sure. You put on the stimulus, and what happens? You put on the brakes. As soon as the wave comes in, what normally happens? You put on the brakes. The wave already comes in with all this information that I talk about in the lecture, everything. But this wave hits, it will take your entire paradigms and throw everything up in the air, in the trash. The universe is like this. Can we move forward? No. No, because when I was 3 years old I heard something that was like this. Now you're saying that it's like this, but it's like that. There, you're stuck. Did you notice how many paradigms were deleted in these 3 hours of this lecture? At least I tried. It changes everything. If I could understand what I said, it would change everything. There is no stone left unturned, if most people let this sink in easily. It has been proven that if you drop a pebble, it falls, drop it and it falls, drop it and it falls. This is called the law of gravity. It is a force. It drops and it falls. Do I need to keep dropping the pebble? How many times? 1 trillion times for you to believe it? If you understand it the first time, the second time. That's it. I won't throw myself off the building anymore. Because if I throw myself off the building, you said there is a so-called law of gravity, will I crash? I won't anymore. We saved a suicide, right? If he understands the law of gravity. Audience, but sometimes, the person doesn't want to come. Professor Hélio, if they don't want to, they don't want to. Amen. You gave them the opportunity. Drop it, blur it out. What delays the resonance process is the brake that the person pulls, because they do not allow themselves to change the paradigm. We have all been indoctrinated, massively, to think about matter. We are saying the opposite, that everything is a wave. I haven't even mentioned this, and there hasn't been time yet, but there are already 4 DVDs. What do you ask for in resonance? You can ask for anything. You can ask for the entire knowledge of a book, a library, a course. All of his knowledge indicates a person in the audience, if you want. Anything, everything can be transferred. Everything. And for that to sink in, it takes a long time. After several lectures I gave, I finally said, you can ask for rejuvenation. Well, then they started asking, but it took a year and a half. I say, you can ask for everything, Iverwitechi. Do you know what that means in people's minds? Something this small shows something of small proportion, a little box, the person's paradigm. What is possible in the universe? It's the little box they told her about when she was 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 years old, 9, 10. Her father and mother, a teacher. She put it in a box. Everything in Hélio's head is the size of the universe. In a certain person's head it's like this, small, in another person's it's like this, medium, in another person's it's like this, immense. So, they ask for it proportionally, to what they think, believe. While I didn't say, rejuvenation, nobody asked for it. Imagine this situation. The whole wants to give you everything, but you only want to receive something like this, shows something very small, because that's what you believe it can give you. Do you realize the size of the tragedy? Because you can't ask for that, you don't deserve it. How can you receive everything if you don't deserve it? By definition, from birth, you don't deserve it. Do you realize? You were just born. Of course, when you were just born you won't understand, but when you're about 2 years old, you'll hear this, they'll say, friend, you're doomed, right away. It doesn't matter, you're doomed, you start paying. Ah, but it was my great-great-grandfather. It doesn't matter, the debt is yours, you can pay it, it's here, Ceresa, it's family, you can pay it. That's what happens to us. Do I need to specify this further or not? Is it clear? You're born in debt. Therefore, you can't want anything, you can only want to pay. Put this single belief in a little child's head and you've condemned him to vegetate for the rest of his life. He won't go out anymore, and he'll need therapy to solve his little problems. That's what this single belief will generate in him. Because then, employment, work, relationships, health, everything goes down the drain. Everything, because of a single belief. Now imagine. You don't receive a belief. We are indoctrinated. We go to school, class, everything, the whole environment filling the little child's head with the current paradigm. So, are you surprised that on the other side of the world a guy puts on a bomb belt, tightens the belt, kills 200 and it turns to dust? No, for him it's the most normal thing in the world. That's what they taught him, that if he presses the button he will find heavenly paradise. He presses it. Since they didn't teach us that, we don't do that, but we do other things. We have the same problems, only the method of indoctrination varies. This is an archetypal process. What does that mean? You experience a certain archetype. An archetype is the initial project of the universe, of everything that exists. It is the perfection of that. So, you have the archetype of the waiter, who is the perfect waiter. The archetype of the engineer is the perfect engineer. The archetype of the house is the perfect house, and so on. But there are situational archetypes. Situations, wars, there are archetypes that govern this, experience this. Planetary evolution has an archetype that manages this. This is under enormous direction. At the moment, how could one provoke a massive change in consciousness at high speed? You see the difficulty. There is resonance, but who wants to do it, right? It's all this stuff. So we can't just wait for 1, 2, 30, 40, 50, 80, 150. There are 7 billion. So we have the particular, personalized resonance, and you can ask for whatever interests you. So, he comes and asks for the little things he wants, and that's it. But there are 7 billion, and it won't be possible to do it that way with all of that. In the higher instance, there is a way to do it for 7 billion, that is, the entire planet. Isn't it a wave? Isn't the information in a wave? So, Okay, you take the planet, it revolves around the sun, right? You put a big wave in a place in space, the Earth comes, revolves around the sun also revolves around something else, and then they go around and around and around. This is a cycle. It enters the wave, the Earth rotates, enters the wave, a huge wave, this wave has the information of this evolution of consciousness. He asks for a wave of metallurgy, so he receives all the knowledge of metallurgy. It's for him, personalized. But the entire planet has a problem with consciousness, with understanding quantum mechanics. So, we need to pass on the knowledge of quantum mechanics to the entire planet, 7 billion people. You won't have to play a big CD, there's no need, there's a wave. One person thinks and creates the wave, the entire planet goes through the wave. Everyone receives the information, this information expands consciousness, cleanses, heals, causes catharsis in everyone, but it takes time. This rotation within this wave takes 2,000 years. It just started in 2007. So, rest assured, there's time. In 2007, the 7 billion people got completely into the wave, receiving information all the time. You can see that things are a bit hectic. In 2007 it was hectic, 2008 was even more hectic, there was the financial crisis. In 2009 it was even more hectic, look at 2010. In 2011 there will be more, 2012 more, 2013 more and so on. That's why you see people all over the world so shaken up and they don't even know what's going on. But everyone is having catharses non-stop, it's coming to the surface, it's putting its finger on all of us. You can't leave the paradigm the way it is, because this wave is hitting every single one of us that exists. And it stays there, day and night, the wave hitting. Non-stop, it stays there. Think about it, no, I'm not going to change, but it's better, no, no. Imagine this in 7 billion people, at the same time, for 2,000 years, does it change? It changes, of course, soon you'll see the macro. Do you remember our case here? First month, it cleans so much, second month, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, remember how you peel the onion. Each month deepens the cleaning, the catharsis, etc. This wave does the same thing, month after month, over and over again. So, don't worry, because it changes anyway. What I said now is pure physics, it has nothing to do with religion, it's pure physics. It will change the collective unconscious and the conscious too, it will change everything. It changes everything, there's no way it won't change. Consciousness is made of atoms. It's a ball of energy, a cloud, a wave. Another wave comes in on top, collided, passed on information. When energy enters a trauma, why does it heal? Why does it cause catharsis? Trauma has an address. It's a set of atoms. When you inject energy into an atom, the electrons that are in a lower layer in an orbit, they are energized, they gain energy that came from outside, they make a quantum leap. They disappear, shows a point, and appear at another point. They don't travel between points, they disappear and appear. They disappear from this universe and appear back in this universe. So, that ball of trauma that you have was energized, and it opened. So, the rug was lifted, in the trauma, it opened and everything came to the surface. Because energy entered, it opened. You need to forgive your father. You say, I won't forgive because this is unforgivable. You don't forgive. Well, energy entered to forgive, it opened, I won't forgive. What are you trying to do? Put more energy, put concrete on top, right? You are trying to collapse that, the Zeno effect, to stop the expansion of energy that is occurring in the trauma. You want to close the trauma and make it concrete, but you can't do it, the only thing you can do is stop the process, your process, you stop, you pull the brake. But what happens? Energy is constantly entering. It's not that energy enters every 5 seconds, you are immersed in the cosmic wave. So, without stopping, the wave is entering. You try to close it and it opens, you try to close it and it opens. Where are you getting energy from to try to cover up the trauma again, to close it, to control it? You can't take it from the cosmos, you have to take it from yours. To take it from yours, where are you going to take it from? You have a checking account of your own, vital energy, chi, you take it from chi. But this chi, there is a quantity, let's say in kilos, you can withdraw, you withdraw, withdraw, withdraw and withdraw, in a little while your lungs, heart, kidneys, circulation, brain, they all need this energy. You are taking this energy and putting it to hold the trauma, to feed the concrete that is there. What will happen? You will become exhausted, you will lose your health. An organ here and another there will start to fail. The immune system has already gone to space, because it is the first to go, since the immune system depends on natural killer cells that attack viruses. What does natural killer use? Endorphin. Without endorphin it has no strength to attack any virus, in other words, it goes to space. So, the viruses lie down and roll, did you notice? So, soon you are already having health problems, trying to keep up the business of, I do not forgive. Persisting in this, I do not forgive, you quickly abandon this dimension, because either you forgive or you leave, there is no other option. You are taking all your psychic energy to continue with the current trauma, which you do not forgive. This is the physical explanation of the thing, therefore, either you change or you change. Either you change and continue or you change and leave. The paradigm will change, the economy will change, people will change, health, education, everything. Everything. Everything will have to change and adjust to the reality of the universe, and not to the human creations that invented various things. If I take a shaman or a chief from any tribe, from anywhere in the world, this shaman, this chief, I talk to him and say, how do we control these 500 Indians? It's easy for one to have a club. But he's alone, against 500. He won't be able to handle. It's hard work. So, we have to find a formula, an easier one, for this people to stay calm and quiet. This is the intellectual work of the shaman. You create a story like this, and like this, let the shaman create it, tell a little story that this structure is sacred. The king is sacred, immutable, and done. When the little Indian is born, the shaman teaches him, he says, the universe is a turtle, we are walking on the turtle, read Joseph Campbell, The Masks of God, for volumes, he tells all this there. Every little story that has happened in each phase of the earth during all these millennia. Everyone has a little story, like we believed in the story when we were 1, 2, 3 years old, it's over. We believed in the little story, until someone comes along and says, guys, it's not quite like that. This is usually quickly expelled from this dimension. Because it is extremely inconvenient to say that it's not quite like that. This happens, from time to time, someone says, could it be? The end. To conclude. Ultimately, our reality, which we live in, is literally the same as Star Trek, The Next Generation. Watch at least one episode. 7 years, 25 episodes per year. You can read the synopsis, the holodeck, there is a chapter where one of them, the captain, goes to the holodeck. What is the holodeck? It's a room on the ship is big, the room is big, where the computer simulates any reality you want, holographically. Before entering the room, you speak the program. When you open the door, everything is already set up sensibly, okay? Remember? Everything is a wave. It's a holographic wave, this is also a wave, but it seems very solid, right? A spoonful of rice has flavor, smell, you can touch it, all the sensations. This doesn't exist, it's just a wave, but we can have all the sensory perceptions. That's an illusion, it's Mayan, as the Buddhists say. It doesn't exist. Our DNA was programmed to taste coffee, chocolate, rice. It's a little program that's in our DNA. Smells like this, smells like that. Do you know what rice really tastes like? You have no idea, you know what's programmed into your DNA to taste. Well, you go into the holodeck room, and everything is set up. It has everything. There's a horse, a ship, any society, any situation, literally anything that interacts. When the person on the ship is off duty and wants to have fun, he goes to the holodeck and experiences any situation, anything he wants, romance, anything. It's as real as this. So, why was this done in this series? It's a metaphor. It's a way, like the people in the movie, The Matrix did, to convey what I'm explaining in this talk. Guys, this isn't real, reality is different. So, get out of the Matrix program, turn off the holodeck, and you can actually have a life. Because this is a computer simulation. What is our job here? When I say our job, I mean everyone, all of you, to warn others, to say, friend, this is the holodeck. Tell everyone, turn off the computer, because we're in the holodeck. That's our job. That's what we have to do, until you understand, 100 years, 500, 1,000, 2,000, 5,000, 50,000 years, it doesn't matter, until you understand that you're in the holodeck. Meanwhile, in the holodeck, the concerns are the same as we have here, food, housing, relationships, etc. People go to the holodeck to experience these things. Almost no one goes to the holodeck for spiritual ascension. No, people go to the holodeck to experience the little things of the material universe, but everything is possible there. They experience this without any difficulty in the holodeck. That's the big question. Until you discover that you are in the holodeck, you are subject to the laws of whoever created the holodeck. If you are inside the matrix, the one who controls you is the owner of the battery. Until you realize that you are in the matrix, you are trapped in the matrix. Either you take the red pill or you take the blue pill. You have to choose. Now, if you don't even know that the red pill, the blue pill, or the matrix exists, you are dependent on someone from the outside to come and say, wake up. This is the greatest proof that there is an observer, because if not, you would never leave the matrix. Because from the moment the matrix was created and you were inside and it was under absolute control, how would the people inside the matrix leave? Never. Never. All the control is out here, it's over. You don't even know you're in the matrix, you can't even rebel, you can't even fight to get out, there's nothing. The end, a total, conscious slave, in your consciousness, you don't even know you're a slave. So, there's only one way out, the only way someone can show up inside the matrix and say, listen, this is a matrix, it's a holodeck, turn it off, wake up. Do you agree? That can only happen if it's someone from outside who entered the matrix to warn, do you understand? There has to be an external agent who enters the matrix and can warn the people who are there. This is the greatest proof that there is an observer above all, watching the little joke that people are playing. Someone will appear inside the matrix. It's just like in the movie, you pick up the phone, they answer the phone and they appear inside the matrix, it's not a transition, it's a quantum leap. They disappear here and appear there. That's the greatest proof. Otherwise, there would be no way out. There would be no evolution. There would be nothing. Okay. Thank you. Good night.